Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jess.
That came really clean. Nice.
Wow.
First time ever.
Whoa.
Jess says her name without the recording freaking out. What are we doing?
We're recording a podcast.
Oh, why? Just kidding.
That's why we're here.
Okay, so today we are going to be covering a Jaime chapter and then also Arya's last chapter in what book are we reading? A Feast for Crows.
That is correct, I think.
Yes. But before we get started with that, what are we drinking today?
I spiced it up and I got myself red rose.
Oh, that's spiced up? That's the opposite of spiced up.
I always drink the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For you, it is spiced up.
It is.
All right, how is it?
It's red rose, orange pekoe. I like it a lot, actually.
That's what Tim Hortons steep tea is, right? It's just like red rose or something.
Pekoe.
Okay. Okay.
And you?
I have two drinks and neither of them are tea.
Nice.
So I keep rushing here straight from dinner. So I have some white wine and
Knew it.
And I have a Coke Zero. You probably could have guessed that as well.
Yep. Sounds like you.
Yep. That's me. Just add a cup of tea and then that's me in a nutshell.
A cup of pee?
A cup of tea.
Okay.
A cup of tea, a glass of white wine, and a can of Coke Zero. That's me.
Okay. Nice.
A cup of pee. Come on.
Sounds like pee. Like, what the heck?
Why did you not sound like super surprised though when you were asking me that?
Because I knew I didn't hear it right.
Oh, okay.
There's no way you're drinking a cup of pee. You're saner than that.
For now.
Ooh.
I am aging rapidly, so we'll see. Who knows? 10 years from now, I could be sipping a cup of pee and thinking that's normal.
Hope Jake comes to us when that happens.
He's the one peeing in the cup.
Oh no. Well, if it's a kink, keep it to yours.
Oh God. Okay.
You don't consent.
I don't consent to hearing about your kink. Well, that counts as kink shaming, so shame on you. Okay, let's reel this back in. So where did we leave off our characters?
Jaime visited Derry while procrastinating heading to Riverrun. He hears rumors of a Lady Stoneheart, and he learns that Lancel plans to give up his lordship to join the Sparrows to atone for his sins of sleeping with Cersei. And Arya. After months of training and serving, Arya is sent to help a fishmonger sell shellfish in order to master Braavosi.
And we actually saw her in Sam's chapter.
Yeah.
As well. And she basically just like gives him directions, I think.
I guess.
Something like that. She gives him some tips.
It's
and some
very fast meat.
Yeah. Alright, so we're starting off with chapter 33, Jaime. A party of riders arrives at Jaime's camp, led by his cousin Sir Davin. They greet each other with talk of their beards, and Davin sees that it's true Jaime's sword hand was taken. But he had heard it was Catelyn Stark who took it, and Jaime wonders where these tales come from. They head inside Jaime's tent, and Jaime asks what to expect at Riverrun. Davin tells him the siege drags on. The Blackfish sits inside his castle, and they sit outside in their camps. He's basically saying that it's boring. He doesn't use those words, but
We can tell.
you can tell. That's what it sounds like. And he says that Lord Emmon has been trying to tell him how to run the siege. He wants them to take the castle without damaging it, since it is now his lordly seat.
Okay.
Davin continues, mentioning some phrase he wants dead. Not for any serious reasons, though. It seems he just doesn't really like them. He's just like, this person annoys me in this way. And this person annoys me in this way.
I don't like how he looks, and her breath stinks.
I think they are people who are, like, in the Frey army that are there at the siege. So it's not just, like, randos. It's, like, people who he's being subjected to day after day.
Oh.
Davin tells Jaime he's supposed to marry a Frey, but he would prefer Redwyn's daughter.
Okay.
Who
Is
asked?
Redwyn Frey?
No.
It's Redwyn's daughter, Frey.
No, I don't think so.
He just chose some rando hottie, said he'd rather marry her.
Yeah, I think he's just, like, there's been talk of her or something, I don't know.
Okay.
I could pull it up in the book, but it wasn't really an important thing.
Meh. Okay.
Yeah. Jaime mentions seeing Lancel's Frey bride, and Davin says he couldn't believe Lancel picked that one. Okay, first of all, rude.
Yeah.
But Jaime explains that Lancel didn't choose her. Their uncle thought she would help him win the Derry smallfolk. Davin asks how, by fucking them? Apparently she's called Gatehouse Amy, or Amy, because she raises her portcullis for every knight who happens by.
Oh.
Okay. Jaime tells him that Lancel is off to King's Landing to take vows as one of the High Septon's swords, which makes Davin's jaw hit the floor. Davin tells Jaime he saw their uncle Kevin. I almost said Kavan.
Ooh, Kavan?
Kavan. Davin tells Jaime he saw their uncle Kevin. Oh, I almost did it again. I really want to say Kavan. Let me try that one more time. Davin tells Jaime he saw their uncle Kevin pass here on his way west. Davin asked him for help taking the castle, but Kevin would have none of it. He seemed chilly, even after Davin told him he never asked to be made Warden of the West, and that honor should have gone to Kevin. Davin says he could have used Kevin's help. The Freys wouldn't disrespect Kevin the way they've been disrespecting Davin. Okay, so that explains a little more why he's so annoyed with them. Apparently they're not being very respectful to his leadership. Davin tells Jaime they've been bringing forth Edmure Tully every day at dawn and threatening to hang him unless the castle yields. And by they, he means the Freys. But the castle doesn't yield, and they bring down Edmure at evenfall, without hanging him. Davin tells Jaime that Edmure's wife is with child. Apparently Rosalind is actually quite fond of Edmure, and she's praying for a girl. Jaime understands that once she has a son, there will be no more need for Edmure.
Oh.
Yeah. So she's hoping for a girl to keep Edmure alive.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I guess so. I wonder if she was in on the whole, murder at the Red Wedding thing.
Oof. She's really young, right?
Probably. I think mid-teen. I think she was supposed to be 16 or something.
I wonder if Lord Frey would have bothered to, at all, tell the women in his family what's going on.
Yeah, probably not. Lord Emmon, the new Lord of Riverrun, has been bugging Davin to hang Edmure at once, and Lord Gawain Westerling has been bugging him to not kill him, as he's worried the Blackfish will kill his 3 children if they kill Edmure, including the young wolf's queen, Jane Westerling. Remember them?
Westerling.
The Westerling kids?
Rob. Was that Rob's wife?
Yes. Jaime says the Blackfish won't kill children, but he's beginning to understand why Riverrun has not yet fallen. Jaime asks if they can starve the castle out, but Davin tells him that the Blackfish expelled all useless mouths from Riverrun and picked the country clean. He has enough stores to keep man and horse alive for 2 full years.
All useless mouths? So did it kick out, the old people? And babies?
Maybe. I don't really know what that means. Yeah.
Useless mouth.
Maybe it was like people who were just passing through or something. He's like, okay, you gotta go. You don't live here.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. But yeah, maybe something like that. It doesn't seem like the Blackfish is the type of person to kick out like women and children.
Yeah.
So my guess is that he's kicking out like transients and travelers and merchants and that sort of thing. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. He could be a douche.
Could be. But so far he seems like he was really prepared for the siege.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. He really knows what he's doing. As for the besiegers, they won't starve as long as there are fish in the rivers, but Davin doesn't know how they're going to feed the horses. When they send men off to find food, half do not return. They are either presumed to be deserters, or they are found hung from trees. Jaime had seen some of these hung men, naked with crab apples shoved in their mouths. Davin says it could have been outlaws, or not. These lords of the Trident may have bent their knees, but he thinks their hearts are still wolfish. So, I think he has some suspicions that the lords of the Trident are actually still working against them.
Definitely.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Jaime thinks it could be Dondarrion. Davin hears many tales about him, each less believable than the last, but he's certain the River Lords are helping him. But they have to deal with the Blackfish first. Jaime asks if they've tried to treat with him, and Davin tells him Sir Ryman did. He rode up to the castle half drunk and making threats, and they put an arrow in his horse's ass. It threw off Ryman Frey, and Davin laughed so hard he almost pissed himself. That does not seem like an attempt to treat with him.
No.
At least, like, not a good faith one.
No way.
Jaime says he will offer the Blackfish generous terms. He doesn't say this part, but he wants to try to end this siege without bloodshed, so that it could not be said that he had taken up arms against House Tully.
Okay.
He's really serious about this vow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Who knew he was so honorable? Back in book 1.
I mean, right? It's kind of interesting, because I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but the only reason he made the vow was to get out of Riverrun, right?
Yeah, right? It was to go home. He didn't want to sit in his own poop.
Yeah. So it feels like it was made under duress. So why would he be so serious about it? I feel like Brienne had a lot of influence on him.
Yeah.
Like, she had a lot of good things to say about not Cersei, excuse me. Definitely not Cersei. About Catelyn.
Mm-hmm.
And
she really liked Catelyn.
Yeah, and she has her mission now to save the Stark girls, and it feels like Jaime is really starting to kind of sympathize.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Like, whose side is he even on right now?
His own?
Is he? I'm just not so sure anymore. Davin doesn't think treating will work. He thinks they need to storm the castle, and Jaime thinks that not so long ago he would have urged the same course. Ooh, yeah. Something's different.
Yeah.
Davin asks how Cersei is, and Jaime responds that she's radiant and golden, while thinking that she's fickle and false.
Who the fuck knows?
What do you mean?
He doesn't think about her no more.
Oh, he thinks about her.
I guess.
He thinks about her, but he thinks about her differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he says she's radiant and golden to Davin, and that's definitely how he used to think of her.
Yeah.
But now he's thinking that she's fickle and false.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit. Just the 180.
Yeah.
And all it took was for her to, look down on him when he came back unwhole.
And sleep with others.
And fuck others,
He's
for
been
sure.
loyal to her this whole time.
Yeah. Damn, this is all Tyrion's doing, huh?
You fucked up his relationship.
I mean...
He turned him to good guy Jaime. Sorry.
Honestly, if that's all it took, Tyrion should have done it earlier.
Right.
Last night, Jaime dreamed he'd found her fucking moon boy, and he had killed the fool and smashed his sister's teeth in with his golden hand.
Man, that was violent.
Yeah. The imagery there is, ooh.
Whoa.
It's definitely, like, that was influenced by Pia.
He is holding in some serious rage.
It's almost like another invasive thought, but almost like a fantasy at the same time.
It's a dream.
Yeah. But, like, he's having it for a reason. He must have had these thoughts, right? Davin eventually leaves, and Jaime walks through the camp, thinking he's more comfortable here than at court. He comes across Sir Ilyn and tells him to come so that they can swing swords at each other again. For a little while that night, Jaime thinks he has the better of Sir Ilyn, and thinks perhaps his old skill is coming back. But then Sir Ilyn parries him lazily and drives Jaime into the river, making that strange clacking laugh as before. The next day they make it to Riverrun. The castle looks higher and thicker than Jaime remembered, and he worries it will not be taken easily. If the Blackfish won't listen, he'll have no choice but to break the vow he'd made to Catelyn Stark. Jaime, no! Don't think about that. You're good guy Jaime now. Also, at the end of his last chapter, I was like fairly certain he was gonna go after Lady Stoneheart and Dondarrion.
Yeah. He was looking for an excuse not to have to go to Riverrun.
Right. I guess he couldn't come up with a good enough reason to go after them. Exactly, yeah. The encampments outside the castle are just as Davin described, and he spots a great gallows on which stands a solitary figure with a rope about his neck. Edmure Tully. Jaime feels a stab of pity and thinks it's better to just have his head off and be done with it. I mean, Edmure's been standing there literally all day, every day.
Oh.
They only pull him down at night.
It's really unfortunate.
This poor, naive fucker. God. I mean, still, he didn't deserve this.
No.
I've been seeing some theories pop up on Reddit about how Edmure was actually, like, smart in the actions he took, even if they were against Rob's instructions. But I didn't, like, delve into it, but I just wanted to bring that up if you've seen anything like that.
No.
Right.
I have not.
Okay. Because I just saw, like, the titles of these posts. I didn't actually click on them. But I was like, oh, that's kind of... should have read those.
New take on things?
Yeah, for sure. Jaime also notices the banners of Mallister, Bracken, Rhaegars, and Page are missing. Though all had renewed their fealty to the Iron Throne, it seemed that none had come to join the siege. They make their way to the Lannister camp, and Jaime tells his squire where to set up his tent. Jaime tells someone else to shake out a peace banner and inform Sir Brynden Tully, the Blackfish, that Jaime will have words with him at first light on the morrow on his drawbridge. Peck is alarmed, thinking the bowmen could kill Jaime, but Jaime says they won't. A little while later, as they are finishing setting up his tent, Jenna Lannister, Jaime's aunt, and her Frey husband Emmon come a-knockin'. Jenna gives Jaime a hug and says she's sorry for his loss. He shows her his new hand, but she says she was talking about Tywin's death. And Emmon says a man such as Tywin only comes along once every 1,000 years. Oh my god.
These ass kissers.
Well, I'm more intrigued by the idea that when someone says, oh, Jaime, I'm sorry for your loss, the first thing he thinks about is his hand and not his dead dad.
It's like he forgot.
Yeah!
All right. I have a dad. He's dead.
How interesting.
Shows how much he was impacted.
Yeah. I wonder who felt it the most out of the three.
Cersei. I think Tywin was her idol.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's like almost happily taking on his duties, you know?
Yeah, well, she's convinced herself she's Tywin 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Even better and smarter in every way.
Yeah. And don't forget hotter.
Oh, of course. When he was alive, though, like, I think she definitely felt safe with him around. Safer. And I feel like a lot of her insanity is not feeling as safe.
Oh, interesting.
So she definitely has been losing her marbles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the catalyst was Tywin's death.
Right. She's very paranoid. She thinks everyone's out to get her. I mean, I guess if her own damn brother killed her dad, that's sort of justified.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess we have to sympathize with her there a little bit.
Nah, I won't.
Yeah, get fucked, Cersei. Jaime confirms for them that it was Tyrion who slew Tywin, and he lies to them about the manner of their son Cleos's death.
Cleos again?
Because Jenna asks, "Oh, tell me how my son died." I think Cleos, is he the one who helped Brienne deliver Jaime to King's Landing?
It's like, I know his name sounds very familiar. That might be right.
Okay, because that's what comes to my mind, and he literally just got, like, whacked by outlaws.
Yeah, and fell off his horse.
Something like that, yeah.
And they just let him. They just left him.
Yeah, they're just like, bye.
Eaten by wolves.
Oh, God.
Did he get an honorable burial? Did he tell her that?
Nope. Okay, here's what happened. He tells them that Cleos did a heroic thing by scattering some outlaws, but it cost him his life.
Okay.
And they do ask about his remains, and I think Jaime admits that they need to go back for them. But they'll still be there.
Sure.
But he definitely doesn't think they will be. He's like, but nowadays I could find bones anywhere I look. So he plans on gathering random bones to give to them and tell them it's their son.
Nice.
Yeah. Lord Emmon starts to complain about the siege machines and how they will damage his new castle, and he shows Jaime the decree signed by King Tommen, making him the lawful lord of Riverrun. His wife snaps at him that so long as the Blackfish sits inside Riverrun, Emmon can wipe his arse with that paper for all the good it does them.
Yup.
And I instantly decided I love Jenna Lannister. Jaime thinks that although she's been a Frey for 50 years, Lady Jenna is still very much a Lannister. Lord Emmon says Tywin's faith in him was not misplaced. He will make a good overlord, even to his father, the Lord of the Crossing. Jaime tells Emmon to read his paper again. He is not his father's or anyone's overlord. He was granted Riverrun with its lands and incomes, no more. Peter Baelish is the Lord Paramount of the Trident, and Riverrun will be subject to the rule of Harrenhal. Lord Emmon is not happy about this, but Jaime tells him to take it up with his sweet sister. He says that a lot.
Yeah. This guy, if I have to deal with her, so do you.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna be the one to take this to her attention. You can do it your damn self.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with his sister at all.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it should be like that, though. Like, if you have a problem, take it up with the person who made the decision, man.
Yeah. Not the messenger.
Exactly.
What did he do?
Exactly. I do that at work all the time. People will, like, complain about something, and I'm like, hey, talk to my boss.
I just work here.
I'm following the instructions I was given, motherfucker. I'm just doing my damn job. You can go talk to my boss if you don't like it.
Exactly what I do.
Jenna tells her husband to leave so that she can discuss family matters with Jaime. Lord Emmon takes the hint and leaves. I guess we can see who wears the pants in this relationship. Jenna asks Jaime what his Lord Father was thinking making Emmon Lord of Riverrun. Jaime says he was likely thinking of her sons. Lady Jenna says her son Ty may do better than Emmon. Emmon will make a wretched lord.
Ooh.
She has, no faith in her husband.
No.
I guess she knows him very well by this time.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine just being forced to marry someone who you couldn't stand?
No.
And you just have to live with them for 50 years?
Mm-hmm. Ugh, 50 years.
And have kids with them?
Well, maybe less, depending on how giving birth goes for you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess so. Jenna says Tywin should have granted them dairy instead. Jaime says Riverrun is a greater prize, but Jenna says it's a poisoned prize. Rosalind Frey has a trout growing in her belly, and as long as a Tully Arab remains alive, her grandsons will never be secure at Riverrun. Jaime knows she's not wrong, but tells her she can write to Cersei and make her case.
Yeah.
It's like the more polite way of, bring it up with my sweet sister.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not gonna deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do shit.
Wasn't my call.
I'll just work here, lady.
Lady, this is a Wendy's. Lady Jenna says that ship has sailed. Riverrun is already in her husband's head now. As for Lancel, she says they should have seen that coming. A life protecting the High Septon will not be so different from a life protecting the king. But Kevin will be wroth. She asks why Cersei permits the Faith to arm again, and Jaime says he's certain she has her reasons. Jenna says they better be good reasons. A war was fought to make the Faith put aside their swords. She asks how he means to end this siege, and Jaime says he means to treat with the Blackfish. She says it won't work, even with good terms. Treating requires trust, and the Freys murdered guests beneath their roof, and Jaime killed his own king. Jaime snaps that he'll kill the Blackfish if he does not yield. Jenna asks how. Empty threats won't daunt him. So then Jaime asks what she would counsel. She says they need to show Sir Brynden that their threats have teeth, and basically suggests killing Edmure Tully. Jaime says that may harden the Blackfish's resolve, but Lady Jenna argues he never lacked resolve anyway. Lady Jenna, though, says she would never presume to tell Jaime how to fight a war. She knows her place, unlike Jaime's sister Cersei.
Huh.
She then asks if it's true that Cersei burned down King's Landing. Jaime tells her it was just the Tower of the Hand, which basically makes Lady Jenna roll her eyes.
Burned down King's Landing, huh?
Yeah. Lady Jenna is, like, not impressed at the idea of Cersei burning down the Tower of the Hand, and she criticizes her choice of Harris Swift as Hand of the King, and Giles Rosby as Master of Coin. Jenna's like, I thought he died 7 years ago. And,
you thought wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think that kind of is meant to just be a jab at his age.
So rude.
I mean, what's it called when you're, like, prejudiced against elderly people?
It's an ageism.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's ageism. It might be ageist, but at the same time, you want, at least nowadays, I kind of want younger people, like, in politics versus, like,
Yeah.
old fucks who are,
I don't
like,
want.
stuck in their ways, you know?
Right.
And, like, don't know anything about the modern world. Like, can you fucking step down, bitch?
Yeah, when you see all those, I forget what you call them, but, like, those, like, interviews with, like, not politicians, but, like, lawmakers grilling Google or the TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, holy crap. These guys don't know what they're talking about.
It's so
Jeez.
dumb. Like, oh my god, there was the one when, who were they interviewing? Or questioning? Or what is it called? It's a hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Some iPhone person, I think. Some Apple person. Oh, no, it was, okay, I'm thinking about, shit, what are those Instagram accounts that, like, people make some, like, just for their friends? People like an Instagram account, like, for the public, and then another one, like, just for their friends.
Okay.
But basically they were asking, like, why do you allow these, like, types of accounts. Why don't you just remove those types of accounts or something? And it's like, it's just an account.
Okay.
It's not like a special type of account. It's just another account.
Why? They do not understand. I cannot wait till a millennial becomes a politician. The first millennials. The Zoomers. Get everyone else out.
Yeah, it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, you sound so stupid.
No.
Anyway, I think that is what Jenna thinks of Giles Rosby. So Jenna lists all the crazy things Cersei has done and says she should have made Kevin hand. Jaime says she tried, but he refused it. But Jenna says he didn't say why he refused it. Something is awry. And Jaime remembers Cersei telling him that Kevin knows about them. But he just tells Jenna that Kevin said he was tired. So Jenna seems like really smart. She knows something is up.
Yeah.
But she says him being tired is valid, living all his life in Tywin's shadow. She stands to leave and tells Jaime to do what Tywin would have done. Jaime asks her if she loved him. And I don't think he even knew where this question came from. Jenna looks at him strangely and says that her hand was promised to Emmon Frey when she was only 7.
Whoa.
And he was Walder Frey's second son, not even his heir. Right? Having been a third-born son himself, Jenna and Tywin's father agreed to it for no better reason than to just please Walder Frey. When the betrothal was announced, Tywin was the only one to speak out against the match, a boy of 10. Their father and Walder Frey were furious, but how could Jenna not love Tywin after that? She didn't approve of all things he did, but every little girl needs a big brother to protect her. She asks Jaime who will protect them now. Jaime says Tywin left a son, and Jenna says that's what she fears the most. Jaime doesn't understand, and Jenna looks at him with pity. And I want to read this last paragraph of this chapter. Jaime, she said, tugging on his ear. Sweetling, I have known you since you were a babe at Joanna's breast. You smile like Garyon and fight like Tig, and there's some of Kevin in you, else you would not wear that cloak. But Tyrion is Tywin's son, not you. I said so once to your father's face, and he would not speak to me for half a year. Men are such thundering great fools, even the sort who come along once in 1,000 years. And that's the end of that chapter. Thoughts?
Did she say that because he's in the Night's Watch, but now he's no longer a Lannister? Not the Night's Watch, fuck. King's Guard.
I think it's because Tyrion is just a lot more like Tywin in the way that he thinks. And probably even personality. But Jaime is more simple-minded, I think.
He's a act first, question later.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. She says he fights like Tig, so he's like a good fighter. And he smiles like Garyon. So he's handsome and a good fighter. But that's like all he is, I think, is kind of what she's saying.
Yeah.
He does not have the beautiful mind that Tywin and Tyrion do.
No.
Which it makes me think, if she says she fears Tywin leaving behind a son, and she says Tyrion is Tywin's son, does she fear Tyrion being, like, out there?
Ooh.
Like, what does that mean?
Is she, like, fearful of, like, a second Tywin? Is that what she's saying?
That's kind of what it sounds
another
like.
Tywin?
Or maybe it's the fact that she thinks Tyrion is, like, a great thinker and planner, the way that Tywin was, right? And she knows that Tyrion's the one who killed Tywin. So now it's basically Tywin on the other side, not on their side.
Yeah.
So that's what she's afraid of, I think.
Okay.
So I think she does kind of fear Tyrion not being on their side anymore.
Yeah. Because he's just as intelligent.
Cunning.
Okay.
Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Planner. Yeah. What'd you think of that chapter?
It was fairly good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Better than my chapter. I had a hard time
Yeah.
reading it.
Oh, even just reading it or like summarizing?
But
Damn.
I went into a rant last night with Johnny.
Oh,
Because
shit.
it's so mad. Like, it's so boring.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
The very end was nice, but whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hard time. Like, is this useful or not? And then I'll write it down, and then I'm like, read for a few more pages, and I'm like, I don't think that was useful to write down. Too much happened, but too little did.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. It's like so much happening, but like the story is not moving.
So much I had to read, but yeah, the story didn't go.
Hey everyone, just a quick aside. We just became affiliates of Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform we use for our podcast. If you are interested in creating your own podcast, please consider using Buzzsprout. It made it easy to get our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and dozens of other streaming platforms. They also provide you with a podcast website, detailed analytics to see how your episodes are performing, and tons of guides on how to improve your listenability. And if you follow our link in the episode description, you will get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Thank you. Back to the episode.
Okay, the Cat of the Canals.
Chapter 34, and it's actually not the Cat of the Canals, it's just Cat of the Canals. Because her character's name is Cat.
Yeah.
So she's not like a meow meow cat. She is Cat the character. Alright, chapter 34, Cat of the Canals. Go ahead.
Oh, that's her mother's name.
That just hit you?
Yeah?
Girl.
Tapped in the face.
Oh my god. Back in the other chapter when she was like, oh, can you call me Cat instead?
I just thought because she thought of herself as a meow meow.
Bruh. Of course that's...
meow meow.
That's not it! Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I need to, like, explain these things. I just assume they're obvious.
Don't.
Alright. Chapter 34, Cat of the Canals. Go ahead.
Cat's the first to wake up in the early morning, and she gets dressed. She's sharing a bed with two other girls, Talia and Bria, who are Briscoe's daughters.
Who?
Briscoe, the fishmonger. The sisters get up, and together they leave their room to meet Briscoe and his sons, who are waiting on a boat in the canal. Together they set off and head to the fish market. Cat has been having her wolf dreams again. She is displeased because those are Arya's dreams, not hers. When they arrive at the fish market, it's already swarming with merchants. And it's like the wee hours of the morning. Briscoe goes from boat to boat looking at all the shellfish and buying the best ones, loading their casks, and they set off again. The kindly man had told Cat to learn 3 new things every time she comes back. So apparently she comes back every black moon. So like a couple times a month she'll go back to the House of Black and White.
Is the kindly man the guy who like had the worm in his eye or whatever that she ate?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
The mentor.
Right, I totally forgot who this guy was when I started reading this. I was like, who the fuck?
Her main mentor. Yeah.
Okay. I also noticed that, I think this is true, her and Sansa are the only ones who go by different names in this book. Arya goes by Cat and Sansa goes by Elaine in like the entirety of a single chapter for both of them.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. They're both like embodying different identities, and I guess that's to stay safe.
Yeah. Yep, they are the only ones. It definitely is, because they're hiding.
Yeah.
sometimes she'll bring back 3 new words that she learned in Bravosi, or new swears that she's learned, or stories, or jokes, or even news from other cities, such as the news of dragons. She returns to their house, Brusco's house, not hers. And when they arrive back at Brusco's house, and they arrange the shellfish into 3 barrows, and Brusco sends off his daughters and cat, telling them not to come back until they sell everything. So, and they, like, the 3 of them head off to different harbors. Cat heads to Ragman's harbor. Ragman's harbor is a poorer, rougher, and dirtier port than the ones Brusco's daughters head to, and it's Cat's favorite place in Bravos.
Okay.
She loves seeing all the different people and hearing all of their different languages, and all of how they all look different and how they all smell different.
Oh, smell. How close is she getting to these people?
Real close. She has made friends with some of the permanent residents of the harbor, and they all buy her cockles.
Cockles, clams, and... what is it?
I think it was like...
Cockles, clams,
Cockles was last. Clams, cockles. Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oh, it could be oysters.
Maybe mussel? No, she doesn't say mussels.
Definitely doesn't say mussels. Cockle... what is it? I don't know why I want to know this so bad.
What is Arya's...
What's her little thing that she says? Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oysters, clams, and cockles.
Oh, she does say mussels, prawns, and cockles. Another one says oysters, clams, and cockles.
Are prawns shellfish? I guess they're in a shell.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think shrimp and prawns count as shellfish.
Are shellfish like the bugs of the sea? That would include crabs and lobsters too, right?
They are in shells. What is a shellfish?
Is that an ocean bug?
A colloquial and fisheries term used for exoskeleton-bearing aquatic invertebrates used as food. Including
sounds like a bug to me.
Various species of mollusks, crustaceans, and echinoderms. I have
What
a picture
about...
here. So examples of shellfish. Lobster, oysters, clams, shrimp, mussels, crab, scallops, crawfish, and prawns.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything that we've said, basically. Alright, so we get it.
Yeah.
Oh, about the 3 new things that the kindly melon man tells her to learn. Do you think he's trying to, like, find out information about something, or do you think it's just to help her kind of learn her way in Bravos?
I wonder if he's teaching her how to be a nobody, to learn how to get as much information from an environment. Maybe.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because the what do they call them? Nameless men?
Faceless men?
Faceless men. The faceless men are like pro assassins. So I think getting information from your environment would be an essential skill of an assassin.
That makes sense. And I imagine sometimes they also just are spies.
She's also been enjoying calling everyone camel cunts. It's like a new insult she learned, and she's calling everyone that.
Camel cunts. Alright, so is that basically like a camel toe?
Maybe.
A camel cunt?
Yeah, she has also been carrying a finger knife that someone named Red Rago had taught her to wield for self-defense and for theft.
Oh.
Okay, she's gonna pickpocket. And it's like up her sleeve.
Okay. Noted. I feel like that's Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
You know? Do you know Chekhov's gun?
I don't.
Oh, okay, this is fun. Chekhov's gun is basically a storytelling technique where if you show a gun in Act 1 of a movie, the gun needs to go off in Act 2. Or Act 3, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're showing a weapon, then it needs to be used later. And that can be kind of translated to other things as well. Like, if you're really going to focus this much on something, it's important enough that you have to use it.
Ooh. Okay.
But let me look up, like, a proper definition of Chekhov's gun, because I feel like my definitions get very influenced by my own bias. What is Chekhov's gun? Here we go. A narrative principle that states that every element in a story must be necessary and irrelevant elements should be removed. That's kind of what I was saying, right? If it's not going to be fired, that gun shouldn't be hanging there.
Well, let's hope it is Chekhov's gun.
So yeah, this little detail of the knife, it's like, alright, so she needs to use that. Otherwise, it's not an important detail and we shouldn't be focusing on it. Hence, my criticism of the mud in Brienne's last chapter.
Right? I'm kind of like iffy, like, is this a Chekhov's gun or is this just George writing?
Like, way too many details that don't matter.
Yeah. As she shouts her wares, cats like meow
oysters, clams, and cockles!
meow meow cats start to follow her around, hoping for scraps. Her favorite is a skinny, mean tomcat with a torn ear that she identifies with, and it reminds her of the cat she chased around the Red Keep. And then she remembers, oh no, that wasn't her, that was another girl who chased the cat. She spots a trade ship from Westeros and she heads to them. They buy some shellfish from her, and one asks if there's any sport in the city. And Cat tells them about the eel fights and the Bravos duels. Eel fights sound fun. It's like cockfights, but with eels, I guess.
So do they put them, like, on the ground or in, like, a little pool where they can watch them?
I'm pretty sure they put it in this water.
Okay.
They're not gonna be able to do any sort of fighting on the ground.
Just watch them thrash around on the ground.
It's like watching two magic carps go at it. Flash. Another asks her about whores, and she tells them that the best whores are at the Happy Port. These women aren't very attractive, but they always buy lots of shellfish from her, and they're always kind to her. So she likes them the best, and always suggests them to horny sailors.
Bring them the business. You bring me the business, I bring you the business.
Hell yeah! They work together. One of the younger sailors says he's looking for the beautiful fancy horse that he has heard so much about. His shipmates all laugh at him because there's no way he would be able to afford one of them. And they're called the courtesans. The courtesans of Bravos are famed around the world for their beauty and mystique. Every now and then, Cat would see one floating by in the canals. Each courtesan had their own barge and pole servant, and like the barge would be themed on their theme. Each courtesan has a theme.
When you said that does sound fun, and for some reason it reminds me of Disneyland. But
yeah.
When you said she sees the courtesans floating by on the river, I thought you meant like face down in the water, dead.
Yeah, in a casket.
I was like, whoa! They're just getting drowned left, right, and center. Fuck. Dangerous life.
No, the little boat.
Okay.
With the stick man. The stick servant.
Got it.
Think Venice.
Okay. Yeah, a pole man.
Yeah. So there's the poetess, who's always holding a book. There's the moon shadow, who's always wearing white and silver. And there's the Merling Queen, who has 4 young maidens, or mermaids, as Arya suggests, or Cat suggests, that are like all around her, holding her train, brushing her hair, or just serving her. Cat tells the sailors that a courtesan called the Black Pearl had bought from her once. Apparently she's the most famous of the courtesans, coming from a long line of women called Black Pearls. The very first Black Pearl was said to be a pirate.
Does she also curse people?
Or is she cursed?
It's a little Parts of the Caribbean joke for y'all out there. Go on.
I'm drinking tea in my throat.
I'm stuck on the Disney in my head right now.
The Disney ride?
Just, I was listening to a podcast earlier where they were talking about going to Disney, and then just bringing up the boat thing reminded me of the Mark Twain boat at Disney, and then I'm just the Black Pearls, another Disney, you know. My mind is there. My mind is in Disneyland. Right. Anyway,
the Black Pearl.
Right.
So she continues walking around selling her clams. She gets called over by a regular named Taganero, I think.
What on earth? Okay.
He buys some clams and he tells her about a mutual friend of theirs, Little Narbo. He got his hand stabbed by a whore, and now he cannot pickpocket anymore. And now he needs a proper job. And he's been thinking about being an oarsman.
Okay.
And so Cat continues on.
Who fucking asks?
Cat takes this information because that's what she does. She continues selling her wares, oysters, clams, and cockles. Near evening, Cat makes it to the Happy Port, where some mummers buy from her. They are lacking a couple of oarsmen, and Cat tells them about Little Narbo. He needs a job. Cat enters a brothel there, where one of her regulars work, Mary, the whore.
Mary the hoe.
She watches Darian play the harp and sing about love, disgusted with them for breaking his vow to the Night's Watch. When he finishes singing, then she's like, clams? And they buy.
Oysters, clams, and cockles!
The sun is setting when Cat leaves the Happy Port with an empty barrow and a fat purse. Darian follows her, boasting of the money he makes playing his harp for captains and whores. She asks about the fat one. He tells her that the Night's Watch are long gone. They left him. She returns to Briscoe's house and gives him her purse and a pair of leather boots. And I have in brackets, question mark, question mark. I didn't know what that meant. Then she heads to the house of Black and White because it's a black moon. In the vaults, she removes Cat's clothing and bathes in lemon water to get rid of Cat's scent, which is of fish. When Cat is gone, Arya heads to the kitchens for supper, and then she helps the waif prepare potions. The waif tells her about sweet sleep, the gentle poison. A few grains help with anxiety, while a pinch will give you a long sleep. 3 pinches will give you a permanent sleep. She tells her of the tears of Liz. Liss. The tears of Liss. A crueler poison. When ingested, it eats away at your digestive tract. And it's a painful death.
That's the one that Joffrey took, right?
No, he got the strangler.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That makes your esophagus swell.
Ew.
Cut.
Ew.
So you cannot breathe.
Wait.
You suffocate.
You breathe through your trachea.
But it goes through the esophagus first at the top. The trachea splits off from the esophagus down a little bit downer, but...
Oh, I guess even if the esophagus, like, swelled up, it would cut off the trachea. Okay.
Yeah. I believe the esophagus starts at the throat, right?
I think they both start up there. Let's look at a diagram.
And then, it splits off. One goes to the stomach and the other goes to the lungs. Yeah? Right?
Yeah, but I thought they split, at the same area.
Do they?
Let's see. Let's take a looky here.
Of the esophagus.
Yeah, they split at the same area. The trachea is actually much wider than the esophagus. So I guess the esophagus, obviously expands when you're swallowing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the trachea is actually, a lot more prominent in these diagrams than the esophagus.
Oh, so it is right there. Okay, so, let's just say it causes that whole tube to squish closed.
Right. Okay.
When it's mixed with basilisk blood, it can cause madness in any warm-blooded animal.
Oh, these are good to know.
Arya chews her lip and asks if it'll work on dogs. Why? Okay. The waif slaps her and says Arya likes to chew on her lips and asks who she is. Arya tells her no one and asks who Waif is. Waif tells her that she was an only child of an ancient and noble house. Her mother had died when she was very young and her father remarried. When her stepmother had a child of her own, she poisoned Waif, so her own child would inherit her father's wealth.
What the fuck?
The poisoning is what stunted her body's maturity, or her body's ability to mature. Her father, when finding Waif, brought her to the House of Black and White and traded his new wife's life and all of his wealth for Waif's life. And now Waif lives and serves. Arya asks if that's true, and Waif says there's some truth. While they debate what is the lie, the kindly man enters and asks for 3 new things that Arya's learned. Arya tells him that Lil Narbo can no longer move a couple of his fingers and plans to be an oarsman. She tells him that a group of mummers lost 2 of their oarsmen, and she tells him that Darian, a deserter of the Night's Watch, is dead. His throat was slit and he was pushed into the canal. His boots were taken. Oh shit. Oh shit, Arya.
I guess Chekhov's gun went off.
True. The kindly man asks who did such a thing. Arya tells him Arya of House Stark. The kindly man says he thought she left Bravos and asks who she is. Arya says no one, and the kindly man says she's lying. He tells the waif to bring her warm milk and tells her to go to bed as she'll be serving the next day. That night, Arya dreams that she's a wolf again, but this time she's in Bravos, jumping from rooftop to rooftop and padding beside the canals. When she wakes up, she's blind. That's that chapter. That's the last of Arya in this book.
That's a pretty insane way to end her final chapter in this book.
Like, when it ended, I was like, okay, I wonder what the next chapter is going to be. I'm completely forgetting the last chapter.
Yeah. Can you imagine reading that for the first time and not knowing what comes next?
Like, what the heck? I thought she was going to be badass. Why is she going blind?
Can we speak about the dog thing before I forget?
Yeah, I don't know, like, what the heck is she talking about? She knows the hound died, right? That's the only logic I have.
She was asking
the dog
if a poison works on a dog, right?
Like the basilisk blood and the what's the lease one? Tears of Lease.
And what happens when you mix them together again?
It causes madness until their digestive tract tears apart. Like the basilisk blood causes madness. Well, the Tears of Lease slowly kills you.
It will give cooked flesh a savory smell, but if eaten it produces violent madness. In beasts as well as men, a mouse will attack a lion after a taste of basilisk blood.
Makes me think of rabies.
Would it work on dogs?
I would think so.
I wonder if she's thinking about Nymeria.
I think she'd want to kill Nymeria.
I don't think she wants to kill Nymeria. I think she's wondering about the mad wolves.
Oh.
Well, I don't think she is. I'm just wondering if she is. Would it work on dogs? Is it... What other...
question coming from, Arya?
Because if she's thinking about actual dogs, what other dogs would she be worried about? I feel like I figured this out when I read it the first time, but now it's not coming to me.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, and it like made sense to me right away, but now it's like not. How do I forget what it was? Huh. Fuck. Oh well. Okay, so that's the dog thing. Also, she just fucking kills Darian.
Yeah. Deploying Restorosi law on Night's Watch deserters. I thought it was pretty ballsy for her to do that and then say Arya of House Stark did this.
Yeah.
to the kindly man. Like, oh, you're asking for it now.
Honestly, I think that she has some arrogance, and that's where
Yeah.
it came from. I think because she's proud. She's proud of what she did.
She is. She's like, I'll get away with it by saying it was Arya who did it. Not me. I'm no one. No, you're still Arya.
I think she just wants to brag about what she did.
Yeah.
I think she knows she's not known.
Maybe it's subconsciously she knows that she's not known.
To me, it seems like she's almost tricking herself into thinking that she's good at being no one, when really she's really awful at it.
She keeps trying to tell herself that she's no one.
Yeah.
Like remembering things and then going, oh no, wait, that's not my memory.
Yeah.
Having to constantly catch herself. So I think this blinding her is definitely a way to try to get her to kill off Arya.
Right. Do you think that this is some magic thing, or do you think there was something in the milk?
It was a potion in the milk, I think. The waif was making potions and teaching her about poisons, and then the kindly man like tells the waif to make her warm milk. I think.
I guess that was code for something.
Yeah, the waif's like, oh,
to make her eyes warm and milky.
Gotcha. Oh,
Ooh.
gee.
Look at us.
Figuring shit out.
Detectives over here.
So smart.
Alright, that's gotta be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast, or follow us individually. My handle is Crimby, and Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we will show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of the episode, and he makes some really cool music. That's Bahram. You can also find him on Spotify as Bahrambient. That's Bahrambient. And please check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, including outtakes, BTS stuff, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he absolutely hates. So it makes for some fun discussions/arguments. Finally, if you would be willing to share the podcast with your family and your friends, it would be a huge help to us to grow the podcast. Thank you so much. And join us next time for Samuel. What's he up to? And
sailing somewhere. Cersei.
Oh, Cersei again.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. Cersei.
Let's see how far she deteriorates.
What?
Are the sparrows gonna get her this time?
Who? What?
Let's see how far she deteriorates.
All right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.